Chapter 1: A Silent House. The house in Houston wakes before anyone speaks. Light slips through the kitchen window. The floor is cool. A coffee maker clicks, then hums. Upstairs, children move in their sleep. A cough, a blanket kicked aside. Nothing urgent. The mother counts small things. Plates, shoes by the door. The sound of water running too long, then stopping. Breakfast is simple. Hands are washed. Hair is brushed without pulling. Voices are soft, practiced, careful not to wake the neighborhood. Outside, a car passes. A lawn sprinkler turns once, then twice. Inside, the house holds its breath in a way no one notices. There is no argument. No raised voice. No sign that this morning is different from the others. If someone had looked closely, they might have seen it. Not fear, not panic. Just a stillness that lingers a second too long. Chapter 2: Cracks in the Mind. In the weeks after the youngest child is born, the days begin to lose their edges. Morning arrives, but it does not feel separate from night. The mother wakes already tired, already behind. Her body moves out of habit. Her mind lags a step behind, like it is watching from another room. She feeds the baby. The baby feeds quietly. Too quietly, she thinks, then corrects herself. Babies are quiet sometimes. That is normal. She repeats that word often. Normal. The house is clean in a way that feels deliberate. Counters wiped twice. Toys lined up, then lined up again. A need for order presses down harder each day, as if disorder itself might invite something worse. She prays. At first, prayer is comfort. Later, it becomes obligation. She reads scripture in the early hours, before anyone else is awake. The words blur, then sharpen, then blur again. Certain phrases stay with her longer than they should. Sin, responsibility, obedience. She wonders if she is doing enough. When her husband asks how she slept, she answers quickly. Fine. It is easier than explaining the long stretches of darkness where sleep never fully arrives. Her thoughts begin to repeat. They circle the same questions. Am I a good mother? Am I failing them? What happens if I fail? Sometimes the thoughts feel like her own. Sometimes they feel inserted, unwelcome, but insistent. She does not tell anyone about the images. They arrive suddenly, uninvited, then vanish. She learns to look away from them, the way you look away from something dangerous on the side of the road. She starts writing notes to herself, lists, reminders. Simple instructions for things she has done 1,000 times. Feed the baby. Change the diaper. Check the stove. The notes help for a while. Her husband notices changes, but they are subtle. She is quieter, more distant. Sometimes she stares at nothing, then blinks as if waking from a shallow dream. They talk about faith, about responsibility, about endurance. She tells him she feels broken. He tells her this is a test. She wants to believe him. Doctors come and go. Appointments blur together. Rooms painted the same calming colors. Questions asked in the same calm voices. Are you sleeping? Are you eating? Do you feel like yourself? She answers carefully. Too carefully. Medication is prescribed, then adjusted. Some days feel lighter. Some days feel worse. No one sees the moments when fear rises without warning. No one hears the thoughts that speak in a tone that sounds too certain to ignore. She begins to believe that her thoughts are not just thoughts, that they mean something. Guilt settles in quietly. It does not announce itself, it just stays. She watches her children play and feels love so sharp it almost hurts. Then comes the fear that love alone may not be enough. At night, when the house is silent, she listens to the hum of appliances, the ticking of the clock. She counts seconds without meaning to. She wonders why everyone else seems so sure of what is right, why she feels like she is constantly one mistake away from something irreversible. She does not say this out loud. By the time anyone realizes how far her mind has drifted, the distance is already difficult to measure. Chapter 3: Warnings and Things That Are Ignored. The warnings do not arrive as alarms. They arrive as paperwork, a folded discharge form, a prescription with small print, a follow-up appointment scheduled weeks away. The mother sits in a narrow chair while a doctor explains the plan. The explanation is careful, practiced. It includes pauses, as if leaving space for questions. She does not ask any. She watches the doctor's mouth move. She nods at the right moments. She has learned when to nod. The hospital room is quiet in a way that feels enforced. No sudden sounds, no sharp edges. There is a window, but it does not open. Outside, she can see part of the parking lot. Cars arrive, cars leave. Time moves differently here. Meals appear without warning. Lights dim on schedule. For the first few days, she feels lighter, not happier, just less dense. Someone else decides when she sleeps. Someone else decides when she eats. The responsibility lifts briefly. Nurses check on her in measured intervals. They ask the same questions every time. How are you feeling today? Any thoughts of harming yourself? Any thoughts of harming others? She answers calmly. No, no, no. The truth is more complicated than a yes or no. But complicated answers take longer, and she has learned that longer answers lead to longer stays. She wants to go home. Her husband visits after work. He sits in the chair closest to the bed, jacket still on. He brings updates. The children are fine. They miss her. They ask when she is coming back. She smiles when she hears this. The smile feels rehearsed, but it works. She tells him she feels better. She believes this, at least partly. The doctors say improvement is visible. They point to charts. They point to compliance. Medication adjusted. Mood stabilized. Sleep improved. These are measurable things. What cannot be measured stays unspoken. She is discharged with instructions printed neatly on white paper. Take medication as prescribed. Avoid stress. Reach out if symptoms return. Symptoms is a flexible word. It can mean many things. At home, the house feels louder than she remembers. The refrigerator hums aggressively. The children's voices echo. She tries to resume routines immediately. Routine feels like proof. Proof that she belongs here. Breakfast is made, laundry folded, toys returned to their places. She keeps lists, long lists, short lists. She writes reminders for things she has never forgotten before. She sets alarms on her phone. One for medication, one for meals, one to rest. Rest feels undeserved. The children demand attention in overlapping waves. They want to be held. They want to be heard. She gives what she can. Sometimes it feels like enough. Sometimes it feels dangerously close to not enough. Her husband watches her carefully at first. He asks questions. He listens for hesitation. They talk late at night, after the children are asleep. They talk about doctors. They talk about faith. He believes in endurance, in perseverance, in doing what must be done. She wants to believe this too. She tells him she still feels afraid sometimes, afraid of her thoughts. He asks what she means. She struggles to answer. How do you explain fear that has no shape? She tells him she worries she might make a mistake, that she might fail. He reminds her that everyone fails sometimes, that failure does not define a person. The conversation ends gently. No argument, no raised voices. But something remains unfinished. Over the next weeks, appointments blur together. Waiting rooms with the same neutral colors, chairs bolted to the floor. Doctors ask questions in slightly different ways. She answers consistently. She says she is coping. She says she is tired, but improving. The notes reflect progress. Medication is adjusted again, the dosage reduced slightly, a careful experiment. She feels clearer, less foggy. She begins to question whether the fog was ever necessary. At night, when the house is quiet, her thoughts line up neatly. They feel organized, purposeful. She does not feel out of control. That is the problem. She reads scripture again, slowly this time. Certain passages hold her attention longer than others. Responsibility, obedience, consequences. She reads them repeatedly, searching for reassurance. Instead, she finds pressure. She wonders if she has been tested and found lacking. She wonders if love alone is enough to protect her children. These thoughts frighten her, but they also feel important. She does not tell her doctors about them. She does not have the language. She tells her husband she is afraid to be alone with the children. This time, she says it more clearly. He takes time off work. Schedules change. For a while, she is never alone. This helps, and then it doesn't. Life insists on moving forward. Work resumes. Bills accumulate. The arrangements loosen. She insists she is better. She presents evidence. She wakes on time. She manages the household. She smiles. The doctors agree she appears stable. The records say improvement continues. No one can chart certainty. One morning, she forgets to take her medication. She realizes later, but nothing feels wrong. The next day, she forgets again. Still, nothing happens. She begins to wonder if the medication was holding her back, if it was dulling something necessary. She mentions this carefully at an appointment. The concern is acknowledged. The plan is to taper slowly. Slowly feels safe. But inside her, thoughts accelerate. They do not intrude. They align. She begins to interpret meaning in ordinary moments. A sentence overheard on the radio. A phrase repeated in a sermon. She does not hear voices. No one commands her. She feels convinced instead. Convinced that hesitation is dangerous. Convinced that delay has consequences. She watches her children and feels a tightening in her chest. Love mixed with fear. She asks her husband questions that sound abstract, about responsibility, about eternity. He answers carefully, trying not to alarm her. He tells her she worries too much. She wonders if worry is simply awareness, The house fills with unsaid things. Conversations end early. Questions linger. On the morning, everything begins to narrow. Nothing looks wrong. Breakfast dishes sit in the sink. Sunlight spills into the hallway. Her husband prepares to leave for work. He hesitates at the door. She tells him she is calm. She tells him she feels clear. He believes her. Or he chooses to. Outside, the world continues uninterrupted. Inside, the house settles into a silence that feels intentional. A silence that has been building for weeks. Chapter 4. That morning. The morning begins without resistance. The clock reads a time she recognizes, though she does not check it twice. The house is already awake in small ways. A floorboard settles. Pipes click behind the walls. She sits on the edge of the bed and listens, not for danger, for confirmation. The quiet holds. She stands. Her feet touch the floor, cold, grounding. Down the hall, one child coughs in sleep. Another turns, murmurs, then settles again. She moves toward the bathroom. The light is switched on, then off again. Too bright. In the kitchen, the sink is still full from the night before. Plates stacked carefully. Nothing broken. She touches the counter. Feels its surface. Solid. Real. This is important. She begins the morning as she always has. No rushing, no hesitation. Water boils. Bread is set out. She checks the calendar on the wall without really seeing it. Everything is where it should be. The children wake one by one, sleepy, unaware. She helps them dress. Buttons fastened, shoes found. They trust her movements. They follow without question. Her voice stays even, gentle. Breakfast is eaten, not all of it. Crumbs fall to the floor. She cleans them without thinking. Time stretches. There is no urgency pressing from the outside. Her husband has already left. The door closed softly behind him. No argument. No warning. She remembers his pause. The way he looked at her a second longer than usual. She does not dwell on it. She gathers the children together. Moves them toward the bathroom. The tub is clean. Dry. She turns the water on and waits for the temperature to settle. She tests it with her wrist. Too warm. She adjusts. Steam rises slowly. She watches it. The children talk. They ask questions that overlap. She answers simply. One by one, she helps them into the water. There is laughter. Small splashes. She kneels beside the tub. Her knees press into the tile. She feels calm. This is what surprises her most. Her thoughts are not racing. They are not chaotic. They feel resolved. She washes hair carefully, rinses soap from small faces, tells them to close their eyes. She does not rush. At a certain point, something shifts. Not dramatically, not suddenly. It is more like a door closing quietly in another room. She places her hands where they need to be. Firm, certain. The child resists at first, not violently, confused. She murmurs reassurance. Her voice stays low. The movement stops. The water ripples, then stills. She does not look away. She moves to the next child, repeats the process. Each time the resistance is brief. Each time the stillness follows. She is aware of her breathing. Slow, measured. She does not cry. She does not shout. There is no anger here, no panic, only a sense of completion. She lifts each child from the tub afterward, wraps them in towels, lays them carefully on the bed. She arranges them neatly, straightens limbs, smooths hair from faces. She pauses between each one, not to hesitate, to acknowledge. By the time the last child is laid down, the house is silent again. The water in the tub has cooled. She turns it off. She cleans the bathroom, wipes the floor, drains the tub. Routine persists. Her hands shake briefly while folding towels. She notices this, allows it. She moves through the house, checking rooms. Lights off, doors closed. She sits at the kitchen table and rests her hands flat against the surface. The clock continues to move. She waits. When she stands, she walks to the phone. She dials a number she knows by heart. Her voice, when it comes, is steady. She says what she has done, simply, without elaboration. There is a pause on the other end, then questions. She answers them. She does not hang up. She sits back down and waits again. When authorities arrive, the house looks unchanged. No sign from the outside. She opens the door calmly. She answers questions. She leads them upstairs. She does not resist. As the reality begins to spread beyond the walls of the house, she remains seated, hands folded, eyes lowered. The silence returns, heavier now. It will stay for a long time. Chapter 5: The Trial and the Silence That Followed. The house doesn't change after they leave. The doors are closed the same way. The furniture stays where it was. The quiet settles back into its corners, as if it belongs there. She is taken away without resistance. Her hands are guided, not forced. She follows directions carefully. In the car, she looks out the window. Streets pass. Familiar names on signs mean nothing now. At the station, the lights are harsh. The questions are direct. She answers them all. There is no attempt to explain. No effort to soften what she has already said. "I did it" is enough. News spreads faster than understanding ever could. The story moves ahead of her, stripped of its silence. Headlines choose their words carefully. Neighbors speak in fragments. Strangers argue over meaning. In court, she sits quietly, her posture straight, her eyes steady. Experts speak for her. Doctors, psychiatrists. They describe the mind as if it were a place on a map. They trace where things went wrong. They point to moments where help almost arrived in time, and illness. The prosecution speaks of responsibility, of choices, of consequence. The defense speaks of illness, of distortion, of a mind that could no longer distinguish danger from safety. She listens to all of it. When asked to speak, she does not say much. Her voice is soft, almost apologetic. She says she believed she was protecting her children. She says she believed it was necessary. The courtroom absorbs this without reacting. Outside, the public divides itself. Some see a monster, some see a patient. Both groups speak loudly, neither sounds certain. The verdict arrives after days of waiting. Words read aloud, decisions made in calm voices. She is not sent to a prison. She is sent to a place designed for treatment. The sentence is long, indefinite. Years pass quietly there. Medication is adjusted again. Sleep returns. The thoughts lose their sharp edges. Clarity comes slowly. Pain comes with it. She learns what she did in a different way now. Not as certainty, as loss. She does not argue anymore. Occasionally, her case is mentioned in articles, in debates. People ask the same question every time. Was it evil or was it illness? The question never settles. The house in Houston is sold. Another family moves in. Children's voices return to the neighborhood. Inside, the walls do not speak. They never did. But sometimes, in the early morning, when everything is quiet, someone unfamiliar with the story feels a pause in the air. Just a brief hesitation. A stillness that feels heavier than it should. And the question remains unanswered.